Tom, you right?
Hello, Cam. How are you doing? All right? Glad to be finally on.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to have you
scheduling.
on. It's been about a week
Brilliant.
now we've been planning this podcast.
I'll tell you what, I never ever go at YouTubers again for getting their content in because it is quite hard to schedule down a sit down, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. Funny enough, I put in my last video on, I think it was Tuesday, the Conor Ben, Chris Eubank one. I mentioned it then. I said to the guys, I said to people on the chat, I said to my subscribers, I said, we're doing a podcast tomorrow, as in yesterday. So we're probably looking forward to it. But yeah, guys, the podcast is here now. We're going to be talking about various different topics. We'll be going through the welterweight division. We'll be talking about BENN, Eubank, USYK, Joshua 2, the Fury comeback, and just talking about pay-per-view prices, costs, and Tom's quite passionate about that topic as well. So yeah, we've got a lot
going on.
We've got a lot to chat through. Let's get into it. So starting off with the welterweight division. So I guess I'll let you start on this. Like, what do you think is going on? I guess the big fights obviously Spence and Crawford. I think we're all just waiting for that to get. What do you think is going on with that at the moment?
Big fight. I tell you what, it's the thing that annoys me about it the most is that I want to talk about it to people, but people just don't really know them. Like the casual fans. I mean, I'd say I'm a casual fan, but trying to talk to people like at work and stuff who are people excited about the AJ Usyk fight, Terence and Crawford, they're like, who? And I'm like, Terence Crawford? No. And like, I think the frustrating thing about me is it could have been so easy to get them in a bigger audience with just if Crawford had done the Amir Khan fights and the Kell Brook fight on UK soil. At least if he'd done one of them on UK soil, I think he would have been such a bigger name, or at least something more to casual fans. Because I think it was Errol Spence fight was in the UK, wasn't it, against Kell Brook?
Yeah, against Kell Brook, and that's
the one where he did his ice off.
And to be fair, that's probably why he's got so much exposure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm sure you would agree that Spence is the bigger name, right, out of them two.
I think so, and it is sort of that UK exposure. I think a little bit that's given it to him. I mean, because that was the fight he broke his sockets, wasn't it, against Kell Brook? That
was Bramwell Lane.
That's right, it was, wasn't it? Bramwell Lane, yes. Oh, good memory. So exactly. So I'm hoping it's probably that because they want big money and maybe it's just a little bit too much money because they don't know the casual audience that's going to plug in. Which I hope. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I hope it happens, and I hope it happens soon. I hope it happens this year.
I think,
especially with the big fights coming up, I think it would be important to announce it with that. So then, because once the USYK, the AJ fights come, I mean, even the Canelo Triple G3, that exposure for fighting for that fight, I think will do it really good. People always want to know, what's the next big thing? And people go, this is it. This is the next big thing, and this is why they are undefeated, the best pound for pound fighters that could be on the screen. So I'm hoping that exposure will definitely bring it in.
That is a really good point, actually, because obviously a lot of those fights are quite like a lot of the casual fans will get involved in. So like you just said, the Usyk Joshua rematch and the Canelo Triple G trilogy. So these casual fans, like you just said, if they're wondering, okay, what's the next big fight, it could actually work perfectly for the Spence Crawford fight. Obviously, what the latest I've seen on that fight is Dan Raphael tweeting now that it could be. I think there's 2 weekends after each other. I think the first one's it could be November 15th. I think or the 21st. I think I've got that right. So I think people are saying it might be one of them because on one of those days there's not a college football game on, and they're saying that it's Las Vegas. So I'm just hoping it gets confirmed soon, right? But
I'll tell you what. Coming up now, Cam, this is my favourite time of the sport year because we have the boxing, we have NFL, we have football. It's just a great sporting period this end of the year part. So I hope it happens. It will make it even something more to look forward to. So I really look forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of that fight, who do you have winning that then? Because obviously, my last point about it being held up, my gut instinct is of course the money as well, but I think it's the little things like, is it going to be called Spence Crawford Spence, who walking out first, the small like details. I think that's what's probably holding up. But yeah, just a quick one. Who do you think's? What's your prediction for that fight? If hopefully once it gets made.
do you know, when I was looking into it, actually, I thought, oh, probably the most, because they are pound for pound greats at the end of the day. I was like, who's been the most active? And then you look at it, and it's pretty much equal. For the last 5-6 years, they've only really fought 5 or 6 times. And like that fight with Kell Brook was 2017, I think it was, Errol Spence, and that's what 5-6 years ago now, and it's only had 7 fights since then. So I'm like, wow. And then you think, well, it's definitely Crawford. Then you look at Crawford's, same story. I mean, I know COVID has got something to do with that, but it's not a lot of activity. So my heart sort of says Crawford, to be honest. I know that's not real. You're a bit more of an Errol Spence fan, I think, aren't you? So
you've probably seen my tweets.
So I'm thinking a bit more Crawford, to be honest. But
again, any specific reasons for your reasoning? Because even though I want Spence to win and I'd pick Spence, for me, I'll let you say why you think Crawford, and then I'll comment on why I think. I
just think the way Crawford has won his fights. Oh, do you know what?
Convincing, isn't it?
I think he's just got that spark. Every time I think, maybe there'll be a bit of a letdown or something, I just think he's just point for point, punch for punch. It's just a great fighter to watch. Spence, same thing really. However, it just sometimes doesn't give me that comfortable feeling, you know, when you watch his fights. I don't know how you feel, but I almost get a fight always. Maybe there is a bit of a decline, but again, it's going to be a 50-50 fight, and I just can't wait.
For me personally, I think a lot of people are picking Crawford because I think he's got more to his arsenal. He's got more to his toolbox. He can obviously switch hit. So obviously he can go southpaw and orthodox. He's got the power. So when he does see people hurt, he can really go for you. And just feel like he can adjust more. But the reason I'd pick Spence is I think he's the natural, bigger, stronger welterweight. That's his division. I feel like his resume, he's fought tougher opponents. I know obviously that hasn't always been Crawford's fault, but I think Crawford's never fought anyone like Spence. And you can say the same about Spence, but I feel like Spence has fought some. Like I know Kell Brook came off that Triple G loss, but even then, he beat Kell Brook in his own backyard. I think that was because Kell Brook still he was probably beating Spence on the scorecard in that fight. So even he's fought Kell Brook, he's fought Ugas, who is, you can't just say he's a bum now just because.
No, I forget about Ugas actually, because he's still up there actually, isn't he? Really. And I think Ugas would be a brilliant. Sorry, I'm moving on to another subject here a little bit, but for your boy Ortiz next, isn't it? I'd love to see that. Yeah.
So, do you reckon that's so? In terms of moving on to Virgil Ortiz, then obviously a great performance on the past weekend. I know we were speaking about that. I know you watched it as well.
I did. My internal body clock woke me up for it.
Yeah.
I woke up in the morning. I was like, oh, okay, here I am. What's this for? And then I looked at the clock, turned the TV on. There it was. And I was like, brilliant, happy days. Wife wasn't too happy, but
but yeah,
it was a great performance by him from a good. Oh, I've forgotten his name now.
Mark Atkinson, right?
Yeah, of course, Atkinson. I think he put in a good performance himself. He didn't do himself any disservice. So, but 100%. Yeah, Ortiz just had it, didn't he? Again, another fighter that just makes me feel comfortable watching him. I always feel like he's got that different gear, that different step, just to take it on and overpower the other fighter. So, but 100%. Yeah, I mean,
you he should fight Ugas next. I think that would be a great fight. To be fair, I think because Ugas coming off a loss, but obviously former world champion, arguably beat Sean Porter. Obviously, Sean Porter got the decision, so you could have been 2-time world champion. So it was no joke. Even when you hear someone like Conor Benn, always mention Ugas' name, that's the easier. Of course, out of the champions, he's probably one of the easier options. But even Conor Benn, it's no guarantee Conor Benn would beat Ugas. But I think Virgil Ortiz could fight Ugas next. I know him against Boots Ennis would be a great fight, but I feel like you'd want, even though it happens a lot in boxing, it takes too long. I think we wouldn't need to marinate that a bit, that fight.
Yeah.
But, I think what about Stanionis? I think he could fight Stanionis. I think David Evanesian, he could fight next, perhaps.
There's so many, isn't there? There are so many options, and it is a great division to be in, and also the future of it as well. I think is the division. You know, you've got the lower like Devin Haney, Tafimo, your boy Tafimo. You like him as well, don't you? So they're young peoples. Yeah, they're young boys, aren't they? Well, they're not young men. Sorry, young men. I'm older. Obviously, I'm 34, and they're the early 20s, aren't they? Which shocks me sometimes, but your age, exactly. So they've probably got a bit of maybe weight that they can't stay down there, and they'll be coming up to these sort of areas, and they'll be these future champions. Maybe when Terence Crawford and Errol Spence are bowing out, maybe hopefully they'll get the final fights in with them. But it is a great division, and the future of it is looking stacked as well. So can't wait.
100%. So if you could watch one fight other than Spence and Crawford in the welterweight division, what would it be then for you right now?
Do you know what? I think it would be Ortiz and Conor Benn, I think.
Oh, that would be good. And I think and obviously those who are watching, my subscribers, obviously we're both from like Great Britain. We're like obviously Tom, you're in Scotland, I'm in the UK, and I think because we're following, you know, Conor Benn's journey, I think that's why we're because I think a lot of people would want to see Boots and Ennis in terms of like, because they're both like up and coming. But I think for us, I think we would probably like Conor Benn against Virgil Ortiz because we've been following Conor Benn's journey, and we know he's such an explosive fighter, and that's just a fireworks fight. So yeah, I think that would be a great fight for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And but obviously we've still got the Conor Benn and Eubank Jr., haven't we? So
next topic. So that's just been confirmed.
Yeah.
That's just been confirmed. Yep. So wow. Yeah, let's get straight into that one then. Conor Benn against Chris Eubank Jr. confirmed October 8th, O2 Arena. What's your? I'll let you carry on from there. What's your reaction? I know we were talking about it yesterday. But,
do you know what? It's an interesting fight, isn't it? It's that money making blockbuster British rivalry story background. I mean, obviously we got the fathers fighting in their classics of fights as well, and their classic build-ups as well, wasn't it?
Was you you know when they fought the fathers? Was you young then, or like?
I was, yes. So I was very, very young. I don't think I got to watch them live. Not live. I don't think I was allowed to. But I can remember I had one of my friends used to record the Sky on video. So I don't know if you remember videos at all. You're probably a bit too young. Yeah, but he bought that, and I remember him handing it over to me at school, and I used to watch it like that. Mum wasn't too big fan of fighting, so I remember putting the VCR in, quickly watching it, fast forward it out, and getting the VCR back out. So and that happens quite a few times for me. Definitely with the Tyson fights as well.
Oh yeah,
but definitely wasn't allowed to watch Tyson fights. I can remember that one for sure. But yeah, it was the old VCR, and I got to watch them on that sort of thing back in the day. So not as easy accessible as it was then.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm guessing you're looking forward to that fight then. What's your instant reaction to that? Like,
do you know what? It's a worrying fight for Ben. I think so. Has he given away that much weight before? I'm not too sure.
He has, to be honest.
Has Eubank diminished? Is that what he's thinking? Is he diminished enough for him to be an opposing factor? I don't really know, and we will find out. The thing is, Eubank, he's good at hiding things, isn't he? And sometimes when I think he's finished, all of a sudden he comes back and has a good, decent win. So
yeah,
I'm hoping. I don't know what I'm hoping for actually.
Hopefully, a blockbuster, entertaining, 5-star fight.
It's be that, isn't it? And the build-up.
One interesting point on something you just made. Sorry, I think with Chris Eubank Jr., that's a great point in there. Is he diminishing? Because I've seen a few comments about him kind of not being in his prime anymore. But then at the same time, okay, he gave a few of the later rounds away against Liam. Was it Liam Smith? It was Liam Smith, right? Or Liam what? Liam Smith, his last fight. Oh, I forgot his name now. Liam Walsh. But in the guys in the comments, remind us who his last fight was. I think it was. But yeah, in Chris Eubank Jr.'s last fight, he looked like the best I've seen him in a while. Like, because people were saying that would be a hard test for him, because obviously we forgot his name. But that fighter he just fought fought Dimitri Andrade for the middleweight title. So that was actually, one of the best wins on his resume, to be fair, because obviously when he steps up, he obviously loses, doesn't he, at world level? But I thought he looked quite good, to be honest, and he looked quite composed.
Totally agree. I thought, again, as you saw, I thought, oh, he's gone. He's a little bit. It's just, and I thought a little bit. I thought, why would we be taking this fight if he has diminished that much? Because I thought this is a building fight for him. Surely, if he was on his way out, that's what I thought the James DeGale fight was actually. I thought that was a bit of a way out, a bit of a a name fight, building up to that, but then he absolutely outclassed DeGale, and I thought, oh, okay, he's back here. So it is interesting,
does he? He doesn't really get credit for that win, because when they say DeGale was finished, but the way DeGale was talking, okay, fair enough, he probably was past his prime, but the way DeGale was saying, DeGale was talking and like trash talking, DeGale didn't even know he was finished himself. Like DeGale thought he was going to absolutely destroy him. So you still have to give Chris Eubank Jr. some credit, because it's still DeGale, great fighter, and he absolutely manhandled him, didn't he? Really?
He's definitely come on from when Prince Nassim besmirched him, didn't he? What was the fight again against? What's the fight again? Eubank against. Can't remember. I think it was the World Championship Series.
I think it might have been,
Groves, wasn't it? George Groves.
Oh, well, Chris Eubank Jr.'s fight. Yeah.
And Prince Nassim, didn't he? Absolutely said, he should retire, give up. What's the point? And he's definitely come back, and I think he's proven people wrong.
Even in that fight, he was getting kind of outboxed by Groves, but even then, like the chin, like the heart, like he was walking forward, like Conor Benn needs to be prepared for someone who's going to try and, I'm pretty sure, will be able to take his power, will be able to walk him down. He's strong. He can fight on the inside. He's got a strong jab, and he's a bigger man. I think Conor Benn, he's not experienced that. And if we're being brutally honest, who's Conor Benn actually fought? Like, who's the best fighter he's fought? Chris Algieri, well, he was a bit older, but his best win was probably Granados, or Samuel Vargas was quite a good fighter, because he's been in there with like the world champions. But I'm not trying to give Conor Benn some stick here. I think he's doing amazing, but I just think he hasn't fought anyone like Chris Eubank Jr. And I know Chris Eubank Jr. might not be world class, but he's no joke.
No, so, exactly. I agreed with what you're saying. I mean, Conor Benn I think the way he's finished his opponents has been impressive. Maybe not the opponents themselves, but the way he's finished them has definitely been impressive.
That's all he can do as well, right?
Exactly, yeah. And I think it will be interesting. And I'm looking forward to the bit. I must admit, the fight, I am very much looking forward to the fight. But the build-up, I want to see the fathers, and I want to see the sons, and I want to see that build-up, that press conference. I'm sure we're going to get it, and I hope we are.
It's tomorrow at 1 p.m, the press conference. I'll definitely.
Do you think we're going to get the fathers tomorrow there, or is they going to?
Yeah, I think definitely, because they're going to be on TalkSport, I think, tomorrow as well. I've seen Conor Benn's already been on TalkSport, so I need to watch that and see what he's saying.
I did. That literally flashed off my phone actually, just as you as we joined in. So yeah, that'd be interesting.
I'll definitely watch that. But one thing, what do you think about the press conference? Do you think it's going to be quite heated? Because
I hope so. Otherwise, what's the point of making a fight?
That's the thing.
It's one of those. It's a drama fight, isn't it? Big drama show.
And yeah, like, as Triple G said, have you seen that video? It's an old video from a couple of years back, but basically, Chris Eubank Senior is basically telling off Conor Benn for like how he lives and stuff, and then Conor Benn really like puts it on him and says, "Who are you to talk about my life?" Have you seen that video or not?
No, I haven't. I'll
send it to you. It's crazy. I just think it could even be like that a bit, where the father and son, like Conor Benn, could start arguing with Chris Eubank Senior and stuff. But I think it's going to be video actually on reacting to the press conference if it's that heated. But I think it will be good. One thing I would say, and I said it in my last video, Chris Eubank Jr. is quite calm. He doesn't get that rattled. But don't get me wrong, he won't take no he won't take no shit. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, it'll be interesting. But I guess what's your early prediction then? I know it's going to change, but right now, if you had to kind of predict, putting you on the spot here. Don't worry, take it out.
Just because of the weight, at the moment, it's going to be Eubank Jr.
Yeah, I agree
and
with you
just
there.
because he hasn't fought anything like Eubank Jr. However, I'd love to see him win. I'd love to see Ben win.
Yeah, I think you can't.
He is my person that I do cheer for a little bit more. But
back in.
Yeah, it's going to be a great fight, and I can't wait. Oh, the build up! I can't wait for the build up as well. So
yeah, 100%. Starting tomorrow.
Have you got a Chris Eubank Senior impression in you at all, or everyone's got one, haven't they?
Hi, let me try Chris Eubank Senior. I'm gonna get roasted in the comments, but my son would. No, I can't do it.
I always do that. You know, the Eddie Hearn one. He does quite a good one, doesn't he? Like, you are not a fighter. You are not a warrior. I'm a pugilist. That always cracks me up.
That was a brilliant impression, to be fair. But
oh, thank you.
But yeah, so obviously that's one of the big fights announced on the DAZN, and I know we're both DAZN subscribers, so we're both looking forward to the schedule of us going to come out as well. But another obviously big fight that's actually before that fight, and actually next Saturday, funny enough, August 20th. Is
it? What are you talking about? I don't know.
Usyk v Joshua rematch.
Oh,
next Saturday, right?
Yeah.
20th. Yeah, I'm so excited about that fight. I like Usyk's literally looking like a beast. Joshua looks ready as well.
That has made it interesting, like a lot more interesting. Just because it's not what I thought he was going to come in as, but now I'm thinking about it, and I see people tweeting about it. I'm like, if Joshua is going to be that warrior and come in, brilliant, he probably does need that extra strength and that extra build to just hold him off a little bit. He knows he's going to outbox him. So if he has a bit more strength, a bit more build, maybe he could hold him off a little bit for whatever AJ's got.
Even the clinch and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Have you rewatched the fight at all? The AJ Usyk fight?
I have rewatched it since the fight, but it was more like actually probably like a couple of weeks after. So I probably need to. So I haven't watched it. I haven't rewatched it for quite a while.
I watched it. I think I watched it a few weeks ago, and I think when I first was watching the fight, obviously it was just a disappointment. You saw the way it was going to go and was going to read out from the get-go, really, didn't you? However, I was actually quite surprised when I rewatched it how much AJ wasn't actually as bad as I thought he was when he was doing it. He did do a lot of work actually, and I did connect with him quite a few times. I think when you do watch it, the only thing you are is just the frustration to see him like backing off so much and not putting it on him, not weighing him down. The typical Tyson Fury. If he's got a puncher, he'll weigh him down, won't he? He'll take that energy out of him. Where AJ just didn't do none of that, and obviously Usyk won the fight in all the rounds. Well, not all the rounds, but close to every round, didn't he? So, but
how did you score it then, like roughly? Because a lot of people had it wide for Usyk, but I do, as far as I remember, Joshua did win a couple of the middle rounds, but I think he lost towards the end, right?
I wouldn't put it 9-3, 9-4, 8-4, 9-3. Yeah. Nothing. I don't think you can give any more than that. Even some of the rounds AJ did well in, Usyk was still there, still probably given the better looking punches. At the end of the day, it was just that little bit of brawling AJ did that you think, oh yeah, the middle rounds, as you said, it was just that bit. You think, oh okay, here's AJ, he's going to start, he's going to come in, but then just goes back to his. You hear that guy in his corner, don't you shout, "Brilliant AJ," and you're like, "Shut up!"
Don't get me started. It was frustrating.
Brilliant AJ.
Literally, like, what was that? And that's what people are forgetting. Like, they're just calling Joshua a bum and like he's washed up now. But they're not. They need to think logically. They need to think like, okay, what happened? Why did AJ lose? His game plan was terrible. If he did what he should not have done, it's like I was going to give an example, saying it's like Fury walking down the biggest puncher on the planet, which that's how good Fury is. He could do that against Wilder. Yeah. But in this situation, against a master boxer like Usyk, even Fury wouldn't try to box him up. Fury would probably fight him, walk him down, hold him. If Fury was to fight Usyk, I don't think he'd even try and box Usyk. So the fact that Joshua, who's not even anywhere close to how good Fury is as a boxer, tried to outbox what, like you said, pound for pound, he's brought top 2, top 1, pound for pound best fighter in the world. You're trying to outbox him. Come on now.
Top 3, definitely, yeah. He's come from cruiserweight, heavyweight, and he's just done so much. You just can't deny him a pound for pound top 3 ranking, I don't think. But yeah, as you said, it's. You
Who's the
hope
money
it's. Sorry, what was that?
Who's the money on at the moment?
You know, I'm an AJ fan. I am an AJ fan, and my money, I want to put my money on him, and I want to back him up. I think at the end of the day, I always try and reserve it, because I think we've all followed his career, haven't we? We've all been there since the Olympics, from the start of his career all the way up. And, you know, when he does lose, it is disappointing. It's not like I've not tuned in and paid that money not to see him win. I want to see the progress, and we want to see that Tyson Fury AJ fight. And it just, when that happens, I remember, was it September, wasn't it? Last September, when it happens, and then you're thinking, oh, it sort of took the shine off the Tyson Deontay Wilder 3 fight, because you knew that AJ and Tyson fight wasn't going to be next. So I hope he wins, and I hope we see that Tyson Fury fight. I don't think we're going to see the Tyson Fury AJ fight at the end of the year, though.
It seems like he'll have a warm up, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he'll have a warm up. I think they both should. They both should. If one of them has.
About that is, yeah, true. I think, but my only worry about that is, what if one of them lose again?
Well, I mean, if Tyson Fury does a Derek Chisora fight, what could AJ do? AJ could do, I don't know, maybe Dylan White again. I think it'd be 2 sort of interesting fights, but not.
Expect them both to win.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, because I'm just thinking, you know, like negotiations and all that sort of stuff. Again, they're on 2 different channels, promotions, all that sort of stuff. Is that going to be sorted out from now to Christmas? I don't think so.
Not very unlikely, right? Because imagine that, like, who's the A side? One's got 3. If whoever wins that, let's just say if Joshua wins that, he's got 3-4 belts if you include the IBO.
Yeah, exactly.
IBO, and then Joshua Fury's got the 1 belt, but WBC, and obviously he's actually the number 1 heavyweight in the world. Even though he has that 1 belt, just all of those little details, similar to the issue with the Crawford-Spence fight, right? The Spence-Crawford fight would just be, it just seems unlikely. As a fan, like, ideally, of course, we'd think, you know what, December, that would be perfect for us. It would be like a little Christmas present for us, but I think probably Q1 of next year is a bit more realistic. Not, early spring.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. The old, like, the May, April sort of time again. What do you think would go with the channels like DAZN and BT and all that sort of stuff? What do you think could be done on? Someone said to me something at work yesterday, actually, saying about, well, DAZN have got AJ, so some part of it's got to be on AJ's side. So will DAZN maybe get all the international rights and BT get the UK rights?
But then Mr. wouldn't be very happy with Top Rank. That's the issue.
Ooh, because that's the point. Of course, I didn't think of that.
That's the problem. So there's a lot more. That's just a UK issue. Frank Warren against. I think it depends where the fight is. I think if it's in the UK, which I think we both know it probably won't be, it'll probably be in Saudi, unfortunately. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a different situation, because I think because it's such a big fight, I think you should just do like a Mayweather-Pacquiao situation, and it's only happened twice, hasn't it? Joint broadcasters. I think it was Tyson Holyfield and Mayweather Pacquiao, where it was on Top Rank, ESPN and Showtime. Those fights were, but then, and the reason I know that is because with the Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis negotiations, obviously, I think someone tried to mention. I think De La Hoya tried to say to do joint broadcasters, but I think someone else like Bernard Hopkins, or can't remember who, just said that it's only happened twice. It has to be like a mega fight, which that fight probably would be. That would be. You know what? We can talk about that in a second, actually. And that's one more fight that obviously is trying to be made for the end of the year. But I think with the Fury Joshua fight, it's very interesting. Would it be on the DAZN? Who would be the A side? I think for that fight, just put it on ESPN, and it's hard because DAZN would not like that because they're trying to break into the US market. So
exactly. Hey,
yeah.
maybe we're wrong. Maybe it is so big that there is enough to share around. They'll all be happy, and it just does get made. Maybe that will happen, and that will be a great time for us as fans as well. And I think, I must admit, the first half of 2022, I don't think the boxing's really caught fire. So if we end this sort of year of Triple G, Canelo 3, Tyson Fury, Joshua, Spence, Crawford, it would just, I think it would make that year just top off then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 100%. But I think let's just hope Joshua can get the win so that fight can happen. But I mean,
exactly. There's still a lot to happen, isn't there?
if it is Usyk, what do you think? I mean, this leads on to the next topic anyway. What Tyson's comeback? Obviously, he's not retired. What do you think actually Tyson's going to do? That's the question. If Usyk wins, do you think he would fight him for undisputed?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I think.
Do you think he knows it's a risk?
Yeah, I think he does, and I think he knows. I think he knows the Joshua fight's still there. I think Joshua, if Usyk wins, Eddie said he'll fight in December, whatever, and because obviously he's got that DAZN contract, he needs to fight on it. Otherwise, I assume he's going to lose a lot of money or whatever happens. So December, Joshua will have the fight.
Tyson he's definitely fighting in December then, Joshua.
Yeah, Eddie said he's definitely fighting in December. So because obviously he's signed with DAZN. And he's not done one fight on there yet, has he? With this fight going over to Sky, and he had it in Saudi, of course. But so I think he'll fight maybe a Dylan White 2 fight.
That'd be a good fight.
It's 2, isn't it? Yeah, he fought him in the amateurs. The amateurs second fight, especially. So yeah, maybe that would happen to build him back up, and then Tyson Fury again in the new year.
I think that. Do you think it'd still be huge though if it's just only? It still would be. I think it still would be because it's still for the WBC world title. So
exactly, but maybe not huge as internationally and as casuals. I suppose maybe not. But then I think AJ and Tyson are just 2 huge stars, and I don't think it would really matter too much. Maybe just the prizes, obviously. But I think
I never really thought it like that. That is actually a realistic thing to happen because if you think about it like that. Okay, let's say Usyk wins, Joshua fights in December, and then what's stopping? Yeah, Fury has a warm up, and then fights Joshua, and in the meantime, Usyk will be occupied anyway because Joe Joyce is
exactly
he's Great running point. Behind what's the saying? He's breathing behind his neck, he's breathing behind he's number 1 at WBO, so Usyk will probably could fight Joe Joyce, which probably works out perfectly because. Well, I don't know. I don't think Joyce beats Usyk in my opinion anyway. But I mean, imagine if Joyce was to beat Usyk, and then I think Fury would. Then it's just a shame though because I think for his resume, he should try and fight for undisputed. I don't know. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say hopefully Fury does fight the winner, even if it is Usyk. But I just think as good as Usyk is, I think Fury is still another level in my opinion because he can do a lot more. I feel like. He's the bigger man. I reckon he's got more power. He can on the inside. He can box. I think Fury is just the best heavyweight of this generation. So I think he probably backs himself. But I mean, I don't know. I think obviously the word's gone around that a lot of people think he doesn't fancy himself against Usyk. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's hard to kind of say, but
it is. And I didn't ask you. Who do you think? Is going to win between Usyk and Joshua? Then, what do you think you're out?
I've been really impressed by how Usyk's looking, and I do think it's going to be a tough. I'm similar to you. I'm an AJ fan. I've said it. I've said it since the rematch. Since Joshua lost, I've said he'll win in a rematch. What always gets to me is. Before the fight, the first fight, they're saying, "Oh, easy, Joshua win." he's too big, too strong. Usyk,
Yeah.
he's too small. He's just a cruiserweight fighting at heavyweight. Now all of a sudden, Usyk's the best fighter of all time. He's the best. He's the pound for pound best fighter in the world. Don't forget, he was on the pound for pound list when he fought. When everyone was saying Joshua should steamroll him. So now all of a sudden, he's like the best fighter. He's the best fighter in the world. Which he might be, but well, just because Joshua had a terrible game plan. Now it's like a mismatch. No. So I think, like, to answer your question, I'm with Joshua. I think Joshua knockout.
Because
of course, that's
what as well. Yeah,
that's what I want, and I know. I think he can do that as well. I definitely think he can knock Usyk out.
Because we're forgetting as well. Like, he fought Derek Chisora the fight before, wasn't it? And everyone was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he won, but he just didn't look like a great heavyweight. He's not there, sort of thing." And then, as you said, he's now won, and everyone is like, "Oh, he's the best thing since sliced bread." But I mean, obviously, he is brilliant. He is brilliant. But
yeah, don't average sample. God, I love Johnny. But just to wrap up, then the last topic, and we were actually chatting about this the other day. What's your take on let's just talk about pay-per-views for a second. Obviously, we're both from Great Britain, so it's a bit different from our part of the world compared to US. But what's your take on? We'll start with just pay-per-views in general, because obviously on Twitter and stuff we probably see a lot of the Americans complaining.
Yeah, I mean, I know you should never listen to Twitter, but you just see the abuse that DAZN gets, and Eddie and all that. That Eddie, like the first name term, but I think it's a great value of money for DAZN. I can't see how it's not. I mean, if you look, I was just looking at the schedule list for this year. There's been 31 cards, sorry, $7.99. So we all paid £63 up to this point in August. So that's just over £2 a card. And the cards we've had, I think we've had good cards. I mean, Bivol and Canelo, that's probably a pay-per-view, isn't it? So 20-25 quid. I think
Taylor Serrano.
Yeah, exactly. The KT Serrano, maybe not a pay-per-view, but it was still a great night. I thought that's one of my favourite nights of boxing.
I think that's
the card as well. It was a great night of boxing. We've obviously had the Chisora Pulev, great night. We had Lee Wood, Colin, great night as well. I think we've had value for money, to be honest. I don't really get the
couple golden boy shows as well with Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
he's always capable, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I know it's quite hard because it's another subscription on top of your Sky, BT, your Disney, your Netflix. It's $7.99. Netflix is £10-11, and they get a lot more content. But for boxing, what it is. Remember, boxing is, I mean, I don't want to say it's a niche sport, but it's not money backed like football, rugby, and all. So they don't have to make pay-per-views. We need pay-per-views for the big fights. It's the way it's always been. I mean, it's not great, but it's just the way it is.
HBO used to do it as well. You pay for what you want to pay for, so no one's forcing you to pay for it.
No, exactly.
That's one point. Exactly. I think that's a great point, because obviously I'm a DAZN subscriber as well. We both obviously watched the. Who thought it was Dalton Smith? Against Owen Mason. We watched that card. That was great entertainment. No one's saying it's not like Joshua. It's not a Canelo level, but it's a great show. It's still a great night of boxing, and that's value for money. So, but then, what's your take on the pay-per-views on top of the subscription? Do you think? I guess you've kind of answered that in terms of it's not a money-back sport, but obviously some people are getting a bit pissed off about that. But I think, do you think that's just reactionary on Twitter, a bit like we're not thinking logically, we're just being a bit emotional?
I think so. Yeah, they're just like, more money, and I get it at the moment. More money here, more money there is the name of the game. Everything's coming up trumps at the moment, isn't it? With the money, and people are just getting frustrated about the cost of the price. But if you just look, I think if you look at it, like $9.99 for that Canelo Triple G card, I think that is worth it. $17.98 if you haven't got the subscription. Obviously, in America, it's a lot worse off for them. I get it. $69, $69, isn't it? $69. What's that? 55, 60 quid here, isn't it?
Even like the Wilder fight. I think that's on pay-per-view. If that once that gets
exactly. I kind of understand it in America. I do get it, but I still think for UK fans, I think we're getting the best of both worlds at the moment. I really do.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just in general as well, I think DAZN, I think you just can't. They're the best card. They have the best fights, the best cards. I think, like, don't get me wrong. I like Frank Warren and stuff, but he's just not the same. He's level. There's levels to this. Like the Queensberry shows are just not. Maybe I'm sure you agree, but they're just not on the same level as like the DAZN shows. It's just Eddie's just running the game, in my opinion. A lot of people in the comments might not like that, but he's the best promoter.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy, but when you watch the BT shows, it is an old man run show, and it's got the same. Was it Steve Bunce and all that sort of stuff? And I do have to mute it. I do have to mute what they're saying.
Like the Darren Flo is supposed to be on the Champions League nights, not on the boxing, isn't it? But,
I struggle to watch them. I do. I don't struggle to watch them, but I know I am just thinking this. You see, actually, a bit of a shout out to Sky, because you think they were finished a little bit, but they have actually done really well this year. I must admit, they've done
really well.
Yeah, great shows, and the talent they brought in as well. It is surprising every time they make an announcement. You're like, oh wow, why has Eddie let go of him then? And then you think, well, I must admit. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
No, go on. Sorry, I know.
I was just saying, you get it, because Sky News is just such a promoting factor for them, and I think some of the DAZN boxers are like
moving on.
When they first came out, it was like, oh yeah, DAZN, brilliant, brand new, but they didn't realise the promotion factor that Sky actually does without much effort. I mean, promoting the fight on Sky News is a huge broadcaster. I mean, if you go any pubs, they have Sky News on, don't they? They put it on in cafes, all that sort of stuff. You've got Sky News coming there promoting that fight. So I think they have started, because I think, was it, did you see, what's the cruiserweight called again?
No, it's a holy.
Yes, those tweets he made, didn't he? Like, because he was supposed to be tracked for the Sky's cruiserweight big signing, big headliner. So I think he's sort of realised. Yeah. So I think that's got a bit awkward, hasn't it? So I think that's maybe DAZN's one weak point, its promotion factor. Well, he's got the best promoter in the world, but it's airtime and promoting on a channel that will constantly. Because I don't know if you remember the rumours that they were going to buy BT Sport at one point. Yeah. I think that would have probably been quite good for them. But definitely. I think when you think about it, though, I thought about this the other day, actually, when you just mentioned Champions League there. How much Champions League do I watch now? It's on BT, and I was like, it's nowhere near as much as I used to watch on Sky.
Even when it was on ITV, that was the
ITV, yeah, exactly. It's not a channel I'd think, go straight to BT. It's one I've got to look for and go, oh, it's on BT.
Yeah, so, yeah, exactly, 100%. Yeah, but I think. No, sorry, go on.
Oh no, I finished.
Yeah, it's just. What's your take on a lot of boxers moving from Eddie, from DAZN to Sky though? Because okay, fair enough, it's the promotions, but would you think it's just like, I think some people are making a lot out of it, like as in, is Eddie finished now? And so, like, I don't think it's probably to that extent. I think it's just they're probably some are just seeing that obviously Eddie's got his stars, he's got his Canelos, he's got his Bam Rodriguez, national stars as well.
It's the blockbusters, isn't it? It's the blockbuster stars that I think of maybe for this year drawn a lot of their budget in, and they've sort of got to let these guys go. Fight on these they've got to have fights, haven't they? So they've got to let these guys and go and fight. And if they're getting offered these money, it's probably just like, if they're going to take them off the books, give them to them for a bit.
It is interesting. It's interesting because Ben Shalom just kind of come out of nowhere in terms of...
Where has he come from? I mean...
He's doing well, obviously, except from that little controversial clip of him saying, all right, don't talk about no DAZN, no. That was quite low. That was good. Recorded that, but obviously you get why he's probably saying that. He's not a bad guy. He doesn't like any controversy. He likes to just go about his business. Young entrepreneur, doing great for himself, and hats off to him. Like, some great shows. The most beach, that was a great show, wasn't it? Who was that? That was
it was good. It was good.
Isaac and Chris Billum Smith. That was a great show.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, great show.
That was a great show. We had, Ben Whittaker on there, Fraser Clark. I watched that. So even a great night of boxing, and obviously he's done really well, Ben Shalom and Sky. So I think they're definitely up there. They're probably doing better than BT. Let's be honest, they are, because Queensbury were doing.
When they came in at the start of the well, no, Eddie left last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
And you did think, oh, maybe Sky will just pack in boxing because there's nothing there, but they have just invested quite a lot in future stars with the Olympics as well, didn't they? Like Ben Whittaker, as you say, definitely a female side as well. They've invested a lot in the female side of the sport as well, which is getting interesting, and people are starting to take notice for women's sports now. So, which is great because it is interesting at the end of the day.
Marshall and Shields, I'm looking forward to that fight.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think about that? Are you looking forward to that one?
Oh, 100%. You know, his Marshall, you're not too sure, are you? Shields, she's
how good she is, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't really like people that call themselves the GOAT as much as she does, but you know, she is good. So
yeah, that's because Shields calls herself the GOAT, doesn't she?
Yeah, she calls herself it a lot, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, she's quite brash, but I think it'll be a really interesting fight. Just because we're on the topic of Boxer and Sky, do you know? I just want to shout out the winner of the Boxer series. His name's obviously Dylan Chima. So he's actually a Punjabi boxer. He's doing quite well. I'm not sure if you've seen him, but yeah,
I don't think I saw that show. No,
Chima, I'll send you his. He actually, I've been following him quite a while. I've messaged him a few times on like DM. He's quite nice like that. He's quite friendly with the fans. He's obviously like up and coming. He won the Boxer series. So he managed to get a follow back from him today. So yeah, thanks for that, champ.
Oh, nice. Definitely check him out. Yeah, happy days.
Yeah, definitely check him out. I'll send you his Twitter. But yeah, he's obviously from like the Indian community. There's not many Indian Punjabi Sikh fighters. So I think he's making his community proud. And obviously, I think I might have to do a video on him soon. I'd like to definitely get him on the channel as well. I'm sure he'd be up for that. But definitely check him out. But I think overall, we've discussed the welterweights. We've discussed obviously some of the big fights coming up. Our predictions for those fights. Fury's come back. We spoke about the pay-per-view cost. So I think we've had a wicked chat. Thanks for coming on the channel, Thomas.
Thank you very much for having me.
Very refreshing to speak to someone. Actually, this is my first channel. This is my first obviously going to be my first video with someone else talking boxing, and obviously it is Cam Talks Boxing, but I'd love to have more. I'd love to have you on the channel again, and you definitely know your boxing. You got good knowledge, and
thank you very much. I mean, watch all your videos and get those views up, shall we?
Yeah. Let's do it. But thanks, Tom. We'll
thank you very much, buddy.
Video soon. But thanks a lot. We'll catch up in a bit.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers. Thank you. I can't even pronounce her name. Talking numbers on the phone while I'm getting brains. Switch